Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA. In this video, I'm going to give my final thoughts on Paulie Malinaggi versus Artem Lobov. All right, man. So, we've known about this fight for a while. Throughout a lot of videos, I've been talking about it, especially if you go to my, The New Era. It's titled The New Era. I put it out a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago even, with my guy, MMA from the Heartland. It says The New Era featuring Dan, where I recap a bunch of shit. But we talk about the Paulie versus Artem stuff a lot, and I don't want to get redundant with it. Plus, it won't be fresh, and it'd be more like me reiterating it. So I'm just gonna give my final thoughts real quick and wrap it up. So, Paulie versus Artem, man. Stylistically, I feel like Paulie should win this fight, but the thing is, stylistically, Artem is extremely durable. You have him with, I even talked about it on a video recently, but anyway, Artem is extremely durable, and the fact that, the Bellator live stream, I talked about it. If you go back to the Bellator live stream, I talked about it again, like a couple days ago. But, Artem extremely durable, man. Michael Johnson couldn't get him out of there. Cub Swanson couldn't get him out of there. Not even taking MMA into account, but Ryan Hall didn't even finish him when he was like backpacking him in the Ultimate Fighter finale. So honestly, bro, Paulie's super clean, and the thing is, with his technique, with his boxing, if you were to parallel him to a boxer, you would put him more in the air of like, not in the air of, but for stylistic comparison reasons, I'd put him and I would compare him to Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I feel like, because he's more of that kind of Philly shell defensive counter puncher, utilizes movement, utilizes angles. So he's going to be getting a lot of shots off on Artem, and Artem's not going to really, he's going to eat them, because that's what Artem does. And to be honest, man, I feel like the thing is, how what's Paulie going to do when you're landing everything you want to land? You found your range, you're putting it on him. Everything you put on him, it's not getting him out of there. And let's say, how do you know his wrists aren't going to break? His hands aren't going to break. They put gloves on with like bare knuckles and shit. Their wrists going to be taped up and shit like that. But honestly, I don't even know how much those gloves weigh. Honestly, they probably don't even have like an ounce weight to it. So it's like probably just a covering of the skin, and I guess for wrist wraps are more the aesthetic. I don't really know what it is, but I know before they're allowed to wrap their wrist but not wrap their hands. Maybe now they're allowed to wrap their wrist and hand but got to leave the knuckles exposed. Pretty much it's like they're kind of giving protection, but you're still going to be cutting up your opponent. So, and what's Paulie going to do? Like, Paulie got cut before in boxing a couple times, but what are you going to do when you're getting sliced up? Because when the thing is, Paulie's super clean with defense, but the range is going to be different because of the bare knuckles and the no gloves, or the new gloves they have. And the fact of the matter is, you are going to have an adjustment period and a learning period live, while the massive repercussions of you getting finished is still there. And what happens if you get cut up, you can't see, and you start getting like clipped up with shots? There's a lot of things that play in different that you can't totally translate. Paulie and his boxing abilities and his hand-to-hand combat ability, that you could say could translate a lot, because ultimately it's very similar. But due to the differences, there's a whole fucking Pandora's box of variables that it opens up because of those couple of differences. Although there are few differences, fact of the matter is it has massive implications. So it's honestly like, on the real, it's like you could dirty box in the clinches. We know Paulie, with his style and just boxing in general, you're going to be in the clinch, and the refs get you out of there. But what are you going to do when you don't know how to work the tie clinch? You don't know how to really dirty box, when, although this is something you're going to work on, and something, positions you've been familiar in, you're not familiar with being offensive and defensive in those positions, because you have to be equally as careful, because like we know how the pocket is a motherfucking flip of the coin. It's Russian roulette in the pocket when you're in the clinch, and especially when you're in a 50-50 type clinch, where you have each person has a single collar in the tie clinch. Like, you basically are going to be able to both get shit off and both protect yourself, but not at the same time. And it's all on your timing of when you throw the shot and your opponent throws a shot. So the dirty boxing and the clinch exchanges are going to play a lot bigger of a role, and the advantage goes into Artem. And honestly, the fact of the matter is, Artem could create those situations a lot more, and Paulie has to, like, Artem's gonna be the one that can be able to create those situations, get in there, and that's where he has the advantage on paper, and it's gonna be all on Paulie to get out of there. And you're not gonna be working fucking digging for underhooks, over unders, fucking weight, like momentum shift, shit like that, judo tosses. Like, you're not gonna be working any grappling to that extent. You're gonna be more working dirty boxing and clinch positions, where he needs to be getting more in depth about it, because although you can't take it to like a hip toss or knee pick type position or execution, you could be in those positions and pretty much take the steps to there to be not like pretty much take it up to step 9 out of 10 steps and be in a clear dominant position, safe position where it'll get broken up. Like, you know what I mean? You could go switch, dig for the hooks, like, and then dig for underhooks and then switch to the back, and then they'll break because you can't just be punching them to the back of the head. Things like that he needs to be working on. And the thing is, like, if Paulie let's say everything goes wrong for Paulie. Let's say he gets cut up, he can't see, Artem's initiating clinches, Artem's having success on the feet, and it's not looking good for Paulie. Let's just say hypothetically, Paulie put way too much fucking weight on the line, way too much shit talk beforehand, really turning a whole community against him, honestly, because I fucked with Paulie for a long time from boxing. I knew about him, and he's from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, so you got to support that. And the fact of the matter is, instead of saying, listen, from what I experienced on MMA side, since I was at odds with Conor, I'm dealing with his fans attacking me. He says it as MMA community as a whole, and really just shits on us in totality, and like, oh, the MMA community is so stupid. And he tries to discredit the danger of the sport. Listen, they're both combat sports. They're both extremely dangerous. Just because people haven't died on a high level, people have died in mixed martial arts. Keep in mind, the most recent I could think of is I could think of more recent, but the more high profile recent one is the one Conor was at, and he was in the audience and someone died, and that's like around the time he retired or before the Nate rematch, shit like that. But the thing is, dude, you can't say, oh, nobody's died, it's safe, boxing, so many people have died, da. It's true and all that, but like, you gotta respect both sides, and you gotta do your research before you just honestly say that this sport hasn't had any casualties and just go on to shit on everyone in the sport. Even there's a lot of people that don't like Artem. You know what I mean? Me being one of them. So even though I'm on the MMA side, I was still rooting for you. I'm still rooting for you. But the thing is, man, like, you got to be more cautious. And honestly, I think that like the level you took it to, and I do wonder. I was talking to MMA from the Heartland about this. I do wonder, would he be doing this if he had a fight with Conor? Would he be spitting on Conor? Would he be going to hit Conor with a mic? Would he be going to slap Conor in face-offs? Would he be talking to him like that? Or at the end of the day, does he have more respect for Conor because of Conor's statute? Like, so is it like, do you feel like Artem is this big of a bitch that you treat him this way, and you respect Conor for more what he accomplished? Or is it that like you just feel like you're not threatened by him in general, so you're taking it and like humiliating him to the most that you possibly could, and Conor's tied into it? But the thing is, if it's because of Conor and Conor shit, you should be having that energy with Conor and like total, if you ever had that, like if you ever see each other. And the fact of the matter is, I really don't think he's like spitting on proper 12 posts and shit like that. And at first, like, I always thought his take on Conor was funny, but at the end of the day, dude, this shit's getting so played out. I get that this is a big part of selling this fight and the build up to it and the deep storied history between the camps, pretty much Paulie and SBG. So, I mean, honestly, it's like, it's to the point where I'm like, honestly, man, like, we get it. We get that you guys got a lot of heat and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're taking shit so far as not only just making it you and Artem, or you versus SBG, or you versus Conor and whoever's cool with Conor, as MMA versus boxing and fuck MMA, da. And that I can't align for. So I'm not gonna root for Artem to win in any way, shape, or form. Fuck that. So at the end of the day, I want Paulie to win. And I just hope that he just retracts everything he says and learns and says that it's the heat and just really stop shitting on MMA as a whole. And if he kind of double downs on the whole MMA thing, then I have to see. But honestly, there is a good chance of Artem not getting out of there, Artem being too durable, and Artem just really putting it on. And I could see it going to a judge's decision where Artem could get the nod, or if Artem catches him with something. Although Artem is extremely pillow-fisted and his hands get swollen a lot, you never know. It's the pocket, it's the fight game. You never know. And I really do feel like that if that happens, Paulie's career is done. He's cooked. He's out here. Like, he not even out here. He's out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to do some shit like that and get, like, do all the shit you're doing, shitting against the whole sport and everyone, and even the people that would be on your side, shitting on them, taking it to a whole nother level, crossing a whole bunch of lines. And they're even marketing this line has been drawn. But anyway, you got spit on, but so like I guess like the line's been crossed, my guy. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, if you don't back up everything you said in phenomenal fashion, if in any way this fight's competitive, Paulie Malinaggi's stock takes a hit. Even with a win, that's the thing. Even with a win, he's supposed to win this fight. So you basically could just come out even because you backed up the shit you said and possibly work into some shit with Conor, because we know Conor, that's your way for Conor, that's your way for a Conor fight, because how did Khabib get the Conor fight? When he slapped up Artem. So if you fuck up Artem and talk all the shit and you create that buzz, you never know. So that's his key. And like, he literally with a victory breaks even with a possibility of maybe taking a gamble and be entering that lottery to try and win a Conor fight. But if you lose everything, my man. You lose respect in both worlds. The whole community you turned against in the MMA community is going to shit on you constantly. It's going to ruin your brand overall. You're a fight analyst, a very good one at that, and you're just going to get trolled with all the shit. Boxers can't really, like, the boxing community is going to shit on you because you're supposed to have them, you put them on your shoulders and you put them on your back. And if you lose in, they're trying to marketing BKFC as a meeting point of combat sports, mostly MMA versus boxing. And this is their launch to that. And I'm going to do a video talking about later, maybe way later. Let's see how this shit goes. And I feel like it should be a fight. But anyway, I'm getting out of point. But anyway, if you lose everything. Showtime, the boxing community is gonna shit on you because you let them down. You're supposed to, and the opponent you're losing to, it plays into a big account. The whole driving and selling point of this is your entry point into BKFC, adding more fuel to the Conor fight, possibility of maybe getting a Conor fight. And the fact is, if you don't have any, if your night doesn't go exactly how you said it should, Paulie, and it doesn't, it's not going to be good for you, my man. Like, any other result than Paulie winning in dominant fashion or a finish, pretty much not. If he doesn't knock out Lobov, he's going to take a hit. But the thing is, I don't see him knocking out Lobov. He really could, because with the angles he cuts and with the size of the gloves, he really could. But like, I could really see him knocking out Lobov on paper and in a fight, and I think that's what should happen. But on paper, he really it kind of works against him because of how durable Artem is and the how fragile Paulie's hands are historically. So yeah, man, that's my thoughts on it. I didn't think I'd go off like that, but yeah, that's how it goes with Mastermind. You already know it's Mastermind MMA.